Hello everyone, Geek Freak here, and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be reacting to your favourite Canadian YouTuber, SHOWOFF Showdowns, Poe versus Shaq. Sorry, you can get those two mixed up. So, if you guys haven't seen this video, go watch Canadian YouTubers videos first, and then come back and watch me react to this. So let's continue. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick today. Now, as for this, okay, I have absolutely no idea who Shaq is. Okay, no, beg your pardon. I've had the name, like, I've heard the name, from there and all stuff, and I think I know the guy a little bit there and there, but other than that, I have absolutely no idea who, like, Shaq is. And there's gonna be some people out there who's gonna hate me for, like, saying, "Oh, you don't know Shaq." Well, I honestly do. I honestly do not know who the guy is. However, Poe, yeah, as someone who likes animation, Poe is from Kung Fu Panda. I've seen #1, which was pretty good. It's a shame what happened to the villain. It would have been awesome if the villain had like a redemption arc. So I think that would have been awesome. The second one was pretty damn good, and as for the third one, I haven't seen it, but I've heard good reviews about. But yeah, they're probably gonna do spoilers. But I've already like read this stuff on Kung Fu Panda. I just don't have the time to like watch it. But I should probably do that. But saying that, something tells me this is gonna be like some sort of kung fu sort of thing. So I'm gonna be rooting for Poe simply because I like Kung Fu Panda. If I had to say anything, I would say, I mean seriously, okay, it's Shaq going up against a freaking panda. I mean, how funny is that? Shaq, who's the man who's gonna beat up a bear? Shaq. Okay. So right. So yeah. Well, that's done. Let's get to watching. Okay. So this is Poe versus Shaq, and 3, 2, 1. And go.
Welcome to SHOWOFF Showdown.
Jeez Louise, it's over 30 freaking minutes.
And this is the series for the SHOWOFF Showdown.
Oh well.
Now let's meet the show-offs for tonight's showdown, shall we? Tonight we have a legendary epic battle between the Kung Fu Panda and the legend Raybor. That's right.
Good thing I got snacks.
Sometimes the most unlikely of martial artists can become the greatest. Oh, before we begin, this battle will feature a full-on pre-analysis for both characters. So let's not waste any more
Sausage
time
roll.
and get straight into it, shall we? Now without further
Tasty.
ado, it's time for the SHOWOFF Showdown pre-analysis. Deep in the heart of ancient China, legend tells
Ancient
that one day
vagina.
a worthy kung fu warrior would earn the honor of becoming the greatest kung fu legend in the history of China, known as the Dragon Warrior.
I've been hearing rumors that a Kung Fu Panda was about to have 3 more.
Master all the 1,000 scrolls of kung fu.
3 more films.
The great Master Oogway saw darkness in Tai Lung's heart and refused to give him the Dragon Scroll. Feeling angered and heartbroken, Tai Lung unleashed his rage on the valley and tried to take the Dragon Scroll by force. However, he was stopped by Master Oogway and Shifu, and then he was locked up in the highest maximum security prison in China.
I kind of felt sorry for him.
Until one day he escaped and broke out of prison and began his journey to seek revenge on his former masters and take the Dragon Scroll once again. It was at that moment that Master Oogway knew it was finally time to choose the Dragon Warrior before Tai Lung makes his way back.
I did feel sorry for Tai Lung.
Hosted a tournament with the Furious Five, the 5 greatest Kung Fu masters Shifu has ever trained. The Furious Five would compete to determine who will become the Dragon Warrior. However, when it was time to choose the Dragon Warrior, instead of choosing one of the 5 perfectly qualified masters, Master Oogway made a more unexpected decision. Instead, he chose a big, fat panda named Poe. makes about as much sense as when SHOWDOwn chose a bunch of random teenagers as the Power Rangers, but that's a different story. Okay, now before we immediately judge Poe,
This is funny, I like it.
look at his story first. In the beginning, Poe was born in a thriving village full of pandas where everything was peaceful, until one day the evil peacock prince, Lord Shen, ordered genocide on all the pandas, which explains why the panda population is pretty low nowadays. Anyway, while the village was burned and most of the pandas were killed off, Poe's mother managed to escape with Poe in her arms. She placed Poe inside a radish basket, and then she ran off and was hunted down by Shen and his bloodthirsty hedge wolves. To be honest, with a character like Poe, you wouldn't expect him to have such a dark and tragic backstory. Anyway, Poe was eventually found and adopted by a goose named Ping, who raised Poe as his own son. He hoped that one day Poe would carry out Ping's family tradition and take over his noodles restaurant. However, as Poe grew up, he had a much different dream. Now, we've all had our own passionate interests while growing up, some of which mostly involve music, sports, books, video games, etc. Now, Poe, on the other hand, his passionate interest was Kung Fu. As Poe grew up, he loved Kung Fu and everything about it. He's read every story, heard every legend, knows every master, and even collected the merchandise and action figures. He was basically a full-on Kung Fu fanatic. However, the only thing he lacked was that he didn't actually know Kung Fu, meaning he was never formally trained. Now, most of Poe's life was rather unsatisfying, as he never had the chance to follow his dream. But that all changed when one day Poe strapped himself to a chair full of fireworks and literally blew himself into the tournament ring just as Master Oogway was about to choose the Dragon Warrior. When Poe woke up after a painful fall, the first thing he knew was that he was chosen as the Dragon Warrior. I know, even Poe was confused. After Poe was carried into the Jade Palace with its hull full of Kung Fu wonders, he met Master Shifu, who really didn't like the idea of Poe being chosen as the Dragon Warrior. So Shifu said he'd train Poe, but really, he was just trying to get rid of him. And boy did he try, but boy was Poe persistent. However, things took quite a U-turn when Master Oogway told Shifu that his time has come and that he must continue his journey without him. Oogway's dying words to Shifu were, "You must believe," which specifically refers to Poe, meaning Shifu must believe that Poe is the Dragon Warrior destined to defeat Tai Lung. It wasn't easy for Shifu, but over time he learned to have faith in Poe. Not only did he train Poe for real this time, but he even found a rather unique way to train him, one that involves food. In only less than a day, Shifu managed to train Poe to the point where he nearly became a full Kung Fu master. Well, almost. When it was time for
Karate Panda! Kung Fu Panda!
Find out that the scroll was completely blank. Poe was pretty confused at first, but over time he figured out that the blank scroll actually showed him his reflection, which metaphorically indicates that Poe was the Dragon Warrior all along, and like the wise Oogway said, he just needed to believe in order for it to be special. And he figured it out just in time, as Tai Lung has finally made his way back to the Jade Palace and almost killed Master Shifu with his bare hands. When Poe confronted Tai Lung, long story short, after a long, hard-fought, and partially comedic epic battle, Poe defeated Tai Lung, saved the valley, and that's when he truly became the Dragon Warrior. As Poe's journey continued, he's achieved many other feats along the way, such as when he saved all of China after taking out a wolf army and defeating Lord Shen, the same evil peacock who killed Poe's parents along with most of the panda population. Poe found the path to inner peace, defeated many other Kung Fu masters who were just as skilled, if not more skilled than Poe, most of which have names that are kinda hard to pronounce. Anyway, in the third movie, spoiler alert, Poe met his real father, who then took him to a village full of pandas, which is when Poe found out that all the pandas were still alive, or most of them at least. Anyway, when an evil spirit warrior named Kai stole the chi from every Kung Fu master, including Poe's friends, and then threatened the existence of every panda afterwards, Poe managed to train an entire village of pandas in the ways of Kung Fu in only less than a day. After that, Poe fought against and defeated Kai in the spirit realm, became a master of chi, met Oogway in the spirit realm, returned to the mortal realm with the help of his friends and family, and once again proved just how much of a pure, awesome Kung Fu butt-kicking Dragon Warrior we've all known him to be. Now, keep in mind,
It would have been awesome if they had
abridged version of Poe's story, and there's a lot more in-depth detail you can find simply by watching the movies. Okay, now that we got
it would have been cool if they added more.
Black and white Dragon
I would have
loved
Xiaolong to have a redemption.
Trained masters ever recorded, because while it normally takes years for one to fully master Kung Fu, Shifu managed to train Poe into nearly becoming a master in only less than one day, which is very impressive. And like I said earlier,
Ridiculous if
Po
you
was
ask me.
able to train an entire village of pandas in the art of Kung Fu in only less than a day as well. Po is also a fairly good battle strategist, puzzle solver, and rather quick thinker, although that can be a little inconsistent sometimes. Now as for Po's physicality, despite not being in the best
just gonna check
shape,
something really
Po
quick.
is pretty impressively strong. In fact, he once launched Tai Lung hundreds of feet into the air with a single belly gong. Not only that, but Po's strong enough to catch cannonballs with his bare hands shortly after they were fired, can lift and throw a giant crocodile about twice the size of a regular croc, which should weigh about 4,700 pounds. He once held up a giant wooden water tower by himself, and he even once threw a stone hammer so high in the air that it disappeared from sight, and in just a couple seconds, when it came back down, it was smoking, suggesting that it may have even exited the atmosphere.
Smoking!
And all this amounts to throwing it at Mach 58 speeds, and considering the hammer's tip was made of stone and about 3/4 the size of Po himself, this should put Po's destructive capability at a very high city block level. So let's just say Po can pack quite a punch. Now Po is also a lot faster than he looks. Not only is he fast enough to dodge cannonballs along with Pang Pang's magic lightning, but he once ran so fast that his hands caught fire, meaning he was moving at hypersonic or Mach 5 speeds. Now, as you would have guessed, Po could take quite a hit as well, which leads me to durability. Not only can Po tank an incredible amount of abuse on a regular basis, but he's also durable enough to tank point-blank fireworks and cannonballs, and falling from hundreds of feet at the beginning of a story, was unaffected by Tai Lung's nerve attack, which triggers nerves and pressure points, tanks getting hit by Tai Lung so hard it made a crater in the ground, followed by Tai Lung diving into him and forming an even bigger crater, tank getting smashed by a building-sized rock, and then getting punched into another building-sized rock by Kai without a scratch, got struck by lightning, and even survived having a 12,000-pound elephant being dropped on him from over 100 feet. There are plenty of other durability feats I haven't mentioned, but I think I covered all of his most impressive ones. Now, not only is Po a physical powerhouse, but he's also got a lot of his own unique abilities to top it all off. For starters, with Inner Peace, Po concentrates and slows down time around him to give him enough time to repair with and to deal with attacks, such as when he caught and redirected
slows down
cannonballs.
time.
Next up is one of his most important abilities, known as Chi. Chi is basically the spiritual life energy that flows within all living things. You know Ki from Dragon Ball Z, right? Well, same idea.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, when Po mastered Chi, he was able to perform his own version of the GT Dragon Fist. Don't believe me?
Hey?
Just take a look at this.
Brilliant.
You can't tell me that wasn't a Dragon Fist. Okay, now in all
That was
seriousness,
awesome.
Po can manifest his inner chi to allow him to dodge
Brilliant.
and manipulate attacks, and he can overload his opponent with chi to make them explode,
Love that.
such as when he literally broke Kai's spirit. He also had his hero's chi enhanced by the peace tree that allows him to increase his speed exponentially, fire lasers out of his hands and belly, and supercharge
So
his
he
physical
literally
attacks.
destroyed his spirit.
In fact, he once used his hero chi to defeat an army of demons as well as a dragon bigger than the Jade Palace. Okay, now that we gotten chi out of the way, Po has many other techniques, such as the Golden Lotus Clap, a blinding wave of energy, the Fluttering Finger Mind Slip, which erases his opponent's short-term memory, the Thundering Wind Hammer, a blast of energy that sends his opponents flying thousands of feet away, the Mongolian Fireball, which is exactly what it sounds like, and when two fireballs combine, it creates a black hole type effect. The Silken Moon Touch, a concentrated blast of energy that darkens the sky temporarily and attacks all nearby enemies with tremendous force. Chawa Punch Kick, a paralyzing pressure point attack that's very similar to Tai Lung's nerve attack. And finally, I saved the best for last, the Wishy Finger Hold. When Po grabs his opponent's finger with his thumb and index finger, and when he flexes his pinky, it's basically a Kung Fu death sentence. Now in terms of exactly what it does, when Po used this technique suicidally, the resulting effect appears to either disintegrate or evaporate the victim's physical body and then sends their soul to the spirit realm, which is basically like Kung Fu heaven. Now Po was able to return to the mortal realm, but that required outside help from his friends and family donating their chi in order to bring Po back. However, there is only one flaw with the Wishy Finger Hold, and that it doesn't work on anything that's already dead or a spirit warrior like Kai. Okay, now that we know what Po can do, let's see what kind of weapons he's got packed up his arsenal. For starters, Po has the Sword of Heroes, a mystical artifact that is said to be so sharp you can cut yourself just by looking at it. Po also has a pair of nunchucks, a bow staff, and a crossbow, which do exactly what you think they do. The Tri-Bow Yao, an extendable wooden staff with iron balls at the tips. and a parasol, which is likely used for defense, and Poe has shown surprising adeptness with this weapon. Now, there are quite a few other things in Poe's arsenal that I haven't mentioned, but because Poe has either lost or gave up the ability to use them, they won't be included in this battle. Okay, now as unstoppable as Poe may seem, he does have his fair share of weaknesses. Poe can be very cocky and arrogant at certain points, which is usually not a good sign in mid-combat. Some of Poe's techniques can be avoided or countered given circumstance. Despite all the punishment Poe can tank, he's not invincible and enough force will wear him down and kill him. In fact, that cannonball did almost kill him in the second movie, FYI. Not to mention, Poe's body is also vulnerable to improper acupuncture, which could paralyze his nerves or maybe even stop his heart if stabbed in the wrong places. Also, Poe's experience using the impossible moves he has learned is very limited.
Like I said, I mean, it would have been awesome if Shao Long actually got a redemption.
But despite all this, Poe has earned the title of Dragon Warrior for a good reason, and when it's time to bring out a dose of awesomeness, you know Poe will be ready to finish things off with a giant skadoosh. In 1994, there was a game on the Sega Genesis and Super NES known as Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu.
Oh,
Just
God.
The name makes people cringe. Like, you don't even want to go there.
Yeah, it wasn't all that good. However, that didn't stop it from getting a sequel. That's right, in June of 2018, they released a sequel known as Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. In fact, Shaquille O'Neal himself said that not only is this game way better than the old one, but he even got the same people who worked on amazing games such as Halo, Street Fighter, and Final Fantasy to work on the game. Long story short, I highly recommend playing it. Anyway, if you're wondering how the story goes in this game, well, it's a little hard to explain because the game's story is convoluted and full of holes. Although I highly doubt it's as convoluted as Sonic 06 or Kingdom Hearts lore, but it's still best to pay attention. Now, from what I've seen,
Oh, come on, Kingdom Hearts is alright.
In an alternate universe or reality where famous former NBA player Shaquille O'Neal has a completely different life story from our own universe, and his destiny was to become a martial artist instead of a basketball player. Although a little piece of trivia, the real Shaq actually knows mixed martial arts, including boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. In fact, he was even on WWE a couple times. But I'm getting off topic. Now keep in mind, this pre-analysis on Shaq contains a lot of spoilers from the game Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. So I recommend either playing the game or watching the gameplay before watching this pre-analysis. But of course, it's entirely up to you. Anyway, in this game, Shaq's story begins in ancient China, the land of dragons, legends, and General Tso's chicken. He was an orphan baby found in a handbag in a river. The only clue to his identity was a mysterious birthmark. He was found by a Chinese woman who raised Shaq as their adopted son. As the years went by, Shaq grew like wild bamboo. During his childhood, he was bullied, alienated, and tormented, all because of his enormous size. And possibly also the fact that he was the only black kid at a Chinese school, though that was never directly stated. Anyway, there was an old man named Yi Yi who took interest in Shaq, and he told Shaq that there was great power within
Yeah,
him. He trained Shaq
his
in the
size. Yeah, I'm sure that was the only reason.
But that's just the beginning. One day, Shaq's hometown of Hung Lo was being attacked. After beating the crap out of a bunch of kung fu thugs who were trying to kill his sensei Yi Yi, that's when Yi Yi decided to tell Shaq his secret that he's been keeping from Shaq his whole life. At first, Shaq thought Yi Yi's secret was that he was gay, considering that he once made Shaq wax his rickshaw while wearing a mankini, and not to mention an indescribable internet browser history, but that wasn't it. It turns out Yi Yi was actually a guardian of mankind and was secretly training Shaq into becoming a member of a secret order in protecting of mankind. And good timing too, because according to Yi Yi, every 1,000 years, the Chinese god of death known as Yan Lo Wang tries to break out of hell to destroy the world. And yes, Yan Lo Wang is a real deity in Chinese mythology,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're wondering. Anyway, Yan Lo Wang has also sent demons to Earth disguised as celebrities who brainwash people into becoming stupid so humanity will be easier to conquer, which seems to explain a lot about what's wrong with our generation today.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
given Shaq a mission to find
It's
and kill all
left-
of these
left-leaning
evil
celebrities.
before Yan Lo Wang literally raises hell on Earth. And it was also his dying request, considering he told Shaq right before he died from being murdered. That's when Shaq.
I mean, I loved
loved
a few celebrities like Michael Jackson. I loved his music. I mean, I was upset when he died, but I mean, Jesus Christ, it's not the end of the freaking world.
Wailing banshees, dragon cosplayers, fat guys he made fun of, biker gangs.
I'm glad that he brought it up.
Craving zombies, brainless muscle men, Justin Bieber fanboys, stereotypical henchmen, flying, fire-breathing Ku Klux Klan, teenage voices, and even Nazis. Yes, this is a game where Shaq is beating up Nazis.
With
And I'm not done
kilts.
yet. Anyway, after facing all of that, Shaq has found and defeated all of these demon celebrities one by one, including Girl Smacking Frizzle, Donald Guan Yu Trump, Justin Babyface, Diamond Hilton, Candy Cartushian, Benedict Gibson, etc. And yes, I altered those names on purpose just for the fun of it. Anyway, at the end of the game, Shaq meets Yen Lo Wang himself, or should I say herself. Yen Lo Wang was disguised as Destiny, who I'm guessing is a parody of either Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, or Madonna. Honestly, it's hard to tell. Anyway, that's when Shaq found out that Destiny, aka Yen Lo Wang, was actually his mother. Well, sort of. When Shaq was a baby, Destiny adopted him along with 7 other identical babies. Shaq was the runt among the 8, and Destiny used to carry him around inside her handbag. That is until she discovered the birthmark on Shaq's neck. According to the prophecy, because we don't have enough of those already, Shaq's birthmark was a sign that Shaq was the chosen one, how original, and that he would be Yen Lo Wang's demise. She couldn't let that happen, so she put Shaq in a handbag, filled it with bricks, and threw him in the ocean, essentially committing child murder. However, Shaq was saved by a whale named Seymour Prophet, who had been watching over Shaq like a guardian angel his whole life.
It's what's his name?
Yen Lo Wang revealed her true form, Shaq fought the god of death herself, and eventually defeated her and saved the world. Now, despite all the demons he slaying and everyone giving a warm welcome back as a hero, deep down, Shaq still believed he was nothing more than a poor Chinese rickshaw driver from a town called Hung Lo. However, at the end of the final cutscene, Shaq found out that his sensei Yi was still alive, I think. And he told Shaq that there was one demon left they forgot to slay, and it turned out to be the most dangerously evil and egotistical one of them all, aka Kanye West. Shaq and Yi set out to kick some demon arse, and that's the end of the story. But one question remains. Will Shaq whoop that egotistical demon's butt back?
Damn.
Well,
okay, this game sounds fun.
If he doesn't, then hopefully Obama will take care of him when the new DLC Barack Fu comes out. Okay, now that we've
I would play
one
that.
of the most ridiculous and absurdly epic video game stories ever written, it's time to finally see what Shaq Daddy is capable of. For starters, Shaq is a martial arts master and has been training his whole life. Not only is he a very skilled fighter, but he has also shown signs of being smarter.
Does he have the Infinity Gauntlet?
For example, he successfully learned how to fly a private jet after reading an instruction manual in only a very short amount of time, which is quite impressive, as it indicates that he's a very fast learner. Now, not only is he a decent battle strategist, but he's also decently strategic in general, as he was able to track down the locations of each of the demon celebrities in clever ways, one of which involved getting information from an anonymous group. But I'm just gonna move on before the conspiracy nuts show up. Anyway, Shaq has also been shown pulling a Frank West by creatively weaponizing almost anything he gets his hands on, from blades to picket signs, from boulders to barrels. Basically, Shaq's got skill, brains, and brawn. So in a way, it kind of makes sense why Shaq is one of the only people who wasn't affected by Yen Lo Wang's brainwashing stupidity. Anyway, not only Shaq a very skilled fighter and quick thinker, but with a guy like Shaq standing over 7 feet tall,
we're in at
20 pounds of muscle, and not to mention size 22
20 minutes. We've been watching this for 20 freaking minutes. No, 30 minutes left. 13 minutes.
He's strong enough to send people flying so high they don't come back down, or at least not on screen. He can break metal shields, once broke down a large metal gate with only 3 hits. He can even smash cars with his bare hands with little effort, as well as larger vehicles like trucks and limousines. And he's even strong enough to grab and pound Yen Lo Wang's head into the ground. In fact, if we scale him to Yen Lo Wang, his physical strength should be at least building level via size alone, and Yen Lo Wang's destructive capability should be roughly town level, as she was able to destroy Shaq's entire hometown of Hung Lo and turn it into a living hell, literally. Now, Shaq probably doesn't have the same level of destructive capability as Yen Lo Wang, but being able to match her physical strength is still very impressive. Now, just because Shaq is strong doesn't mean he's slow. Not only does Shaq's muscular build
It's late at night.
but it also gives him very fast, combative cat-like reflexes, even capable of reacting to fireworks being shot at him, as well as Yen Lo
Who's the Kung Fu
fire breath.
Master?
Not only that, but
Shaq!
Shaq is also fast enough
Boom.
to dodge rockets. Although these rockets don't appear to be propelled, so it's like
Boom.
just being dropped rather than being
That is gonna be the
fired.
most
So it's
pettiest
kinda
little
hard to tell
bomb.
if this feat is considered to be roughly supersonic or possibly less, or roughly hypersonic at most. But you know what? Let's give Shaq the benefit of the doubt, or be nice to Shaq and say he's hypersonic, which should be Mach 5.
Hypersonic.
Does that seem fair enough? Now, not only can Shaq
Okay.
fight fast and pack a punch, but he can also tank quite a hit as well, which leads me to durability. Not only can Shaq constantly take massive beatings and walk him off no problem, but he's also tough enough to tank blades, buzzsaws, fireballs, electroshocks, and rockets. In fact, he appears to take very little damage from rockets. He can also survive attacks from Yan Lo Wang, which should be similar to what was mentioned earlier. Now, one of Shaq's most impressive durability feats was when he jumped out of an airplane in mid-flight and landed without a single scratch. In fact, he didn't even seem to be fazed by the landing, nor the terminal velocity that came before it.
Terminal
This plane
velocity.
was flying at a height of roughly 30,000 feet on average. For a 320-pound man to fall from that height, the landing would be the equivalent of roughly 3.5 tons of TNT, and that's not even counting the terminal velocity. And once again, Shaq survived that without a scratch, so he's definitely a lot harder to take down than he looks. Now that we know Shaq's physicality, let's take a look at his unique ability, shall we? Shaq's signature move is his size 22 attack, where he performs a size 22 combo that ends with him sending out a giant metaphysical shoe, either kicking forward, stomping down, or kicking enemies right into the screen so hard it cracks. Now, believe it or not, according to the Shaqopedia, Shaq's size 22 shoes were actually created by the gods of Olympus as a weapon to use against the Titans. Yes, apparently this is the story of Shaq's shoes. Anyway,
The
Shaq
gods
also
of
has a few
Olympus.
energy-based attacks, such as Shaq Smash, which allows Shaq to dash forward and stun enemies
say on.
he runs
He's in
into, leaving them
the
open
gods of
to a blow.
Olympus,
However, it
but
please have of Shaq's
he's in
energy
China.
here, which slowly regenerates
Doesn't make any
before he can
sense.
use it again. And there's also Shaq Wave, where Shaq quote-unquote shakes the earth with his inner essence. In other words, he releases the blue energy collected from Yi-Yi's blue balls building up inside him. That just sounds wrong. And he
Yep.
creates a small earthquake
Yep.
or a large shockwave that does heavy damage to all enemies around him. Not to mention, Shaq can also perform epic moves in slow motion whenever he does a counterattack. However, the most impressive unique ability Shaq has would be his fourth wall awareness. In fact, his level of fourth wall awareness is so high, it actually arguably rivals that of Deadpool. Shaq is aware that he's in the
yeah!
game, and he occasionally criticizes the game logic. In fact, near the end of the game, Shaq talks directly to the game designer and starts to argue with him. You know what? I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Hold it. Who's in charge here?
I am in charge here.
And who are you?
I am game designer.
All right, Mr. Game Designer, I am tired of this dramatic music. Give me something with a beat.
Okay, yes, I have idea. Here is beat.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, let's go. Stop, stop. Hey, Game Designer, get down here.
Yes, the Shaq. I hear.
Stop with the unlimited enemies. That's some free-to-play crap.
I thought it was good idea.
What do you think this is, Flappy Shack?
Okay. I give you something freaky fresh.
Okay, now before people board the hype train and say Shaq can make the game designer do whatever he wants, just like how Popeye can threaten the animator to force the plot of the episode, that's not the case here. The only thing we've seen Shaq negotiate with the game designer about is changing the music and making the enemies less repetitive, which is quite reasonable. I mean, it's not like Shaq would actually force the game designer to make him beat the game instantly, and if that is what Shaq wanted, don't you think he would have done it? I'm pretty sure Shaq knows his limits and boundaries, especially when it comes to what's fair in a video game. But you know what? I'm not gonna argue about that. Now finally,
Wish
let's
I had
go
those
with
muscles.
Shaq packing up his arsenal. For starters, Shaq can use his signature Icy Hot to heal his wounds and replenish his health.
Icy
He
Hot.
also has a gold bond, which he uses to communicate with Yi-Yi in spirit and summon the guardian whale Seymour Prophet. And not to mention, Yi-Yi gets paid every time he says gold bond. However, Shaq's
Gold bond.
are his two upgraded forms, Shaq Diesel and Shaqtus. Shaq Diesel is a large mechanical suit that Shaq uses to quickly pummel all enemies in his path. However, if he uses it for too long, the suit will overheat and he'll be left exposed while it's cooling down. However, he can relieve some of that overheating pressure with Shockwave. How convenient. Anyway, his second form, Shaqtus, is where Shaq transforms into a giant walking cactus. Yeah, I know. Even Shaq himself thought it was ridiculous. Anyway, this form allows him to shoot razor-sharp spikes at his enemies, as well as large piles of spikes that pierce through multiple enemies at once. Not to mention, being a giant cactus, you definitely don't want to touch Shaq while he's in this form. Now, as unstoppable as Shaq may seem, he's not without his weaknesses. Despite his strategic
I like the
skill and
animation.
intellect,
Looks
he
pretty
usually
good. I
prefers
like
to
it.
fight first rather than think first. Not only that, but while Shaq is a fair and honorable fighter, he has shown signs of arrogance. His Diesel and Shaq's forms only last for a limited amount of time, and they don't really increase his defense. Shaq has been shown to be vulnerable to green hellfire in the last level, and despite all the impressive things he's done, Shaq is still technically human, and therefore mortal. In fact, Shaq may have defeated...
Listen, doesn't that technically mean, Poe's, you know, okay, he's not technically human, but he's mortal.
And even managed to tear half her face off in the process. Now, after injuring and physically weakening Yan Luoyang, Shaq defeated her actually by destroying the magical orb that contained her life force, which just so happened to be conveniently placed right next to her, just like the life orbs of all the other demon celebrities in the game. Because Shaq had to do that in order to defeat her, it may indicate that Shaq isn't really as powerful as Yan Luoyang. While once again, he was able to match her strength physically, but in terms of her level of power and destructive capability, that's something else altogether. I think you understand what I'm trying to say, right? However, despite all this, Shaq is still an arse whooping, demon slaying, Shaq attacking fighting machine, and if you're vacuous enough to mess with him, he'll Shaq foo you up.
This is it, folks. Who will be the winner of this ultimate crazy epic showdown? It's time to find out. Now, without further ado, it's time for the Show Off to Showdown.
Yay!
Get ready for the next battle.
Someone slipped off the Jenny Craig wagon. Looks like you ate all the low-hanging fruit.
Fight!
Yeah, Poe's got this one. Poe's definitely got this one. Go for it, Poe. Woo! I like to do a little bit of Shaq Fu fighting. Of course. He kind of looks like a basketball player. What the hell? Wow. I'm gonna give you the finger. Hey?
Well, looks like Shaq just got dunked on.
Now let's
Woo!
discuss how and why Poe wins this showdown. Now because I've already done a full-on pre-analysis, let's keep this short and simple. Because Poe and Shaq are both obviously martial arts masters, they should most likely be able to fight relatively on par with each other in close combat. Now Poe does have a greater variety of different abilities and weapons in his arsenal, although we could make the argument that Shaq's capability of weaponizing almost anything he gets his hands on would be able to match that, or maybe even steal some of Poe's weapons and use them against him. As debatable as that is, it won't really matter in the long run. Not only that, but we can also make the argument that Shaq could use the spikes from his Shaq orb to penetrate Poe the same way Minions did with proper acupuncture, but not only would Shaq have to aim very precisely in the right places, but he wouldn't even know to do that, especially without prep time. Now in terms of physicality, I think this chart is pretty self-explanatory. While Shaq may technically hold a raw strength advantage, but Poe is used to fighting opponents who are stronger and more physically imposing than himself. Now if we highball Shaq's speeds like I mentioned earlier, then he would be able to keep up with Poe, but realistically, Poe should hold the speed advantage over Shaq. Not only can Poe and Shaq definitely take a lot more damage than they can dish out, but destructive capability is rather debatable. I've already discussed earlier how Shaq might not be entirely as powerful or destructive as Yan Luoyang, and if that's the case, then it's possible that Poe might have more destructive capability than Shaq. Now, aside from their physical stats, I think we can all agree that Poe's trump card in this battle would definitely be his whooshy fingerhold technique. While Shaq is definitely not easy to put down physically, even Poe would have a hard time doing so, but on the other hand, hand, Shaq doesn't seem to have anything shielding his soul. So, an attack that would magically evaporate his body and banish his soul to the spirit realm, not even Icy Hot could save Shaq from that. Now, don't get me wrong, Shaq would definitely give Poe a great run for his money. In fact, if it wasn't for Poe's speed advantage and the whooshy finger hold, then there's a good chance that the Panther population would have dropped down by 1 at the enormous hands of Shaq. Also, don't get the wrong idea about the whooshy finger hold. It's not a broken OP attack that can destroy just anyone. I mean, it's not like Beerus's Hakai or anything like that. In fact, I've already mentioned how the whooshy finger hold does have its limitations, such as being ineffective against spirit warriors, for example. However, Shaq's not one of those now, is he? So overall, while this battle is definitely a lot closer than it seemed at first glance, I think it's safe to say that Poe definitely has what it takes to skadoosh his way to victory. So in the end, Shaq is left with a case of Pandemonium. The winner of this battle is
Pandemonium.
Poe.
That's pretty good.
And by the way, if you haven't played Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn yet, then I highly recommend playing it. It's a great beat 'em up and definitely a fun experience. Not to mention, it's pretty cheap, especially if you buy it on Nintendo eShop. Trust me, it's worth it. Oh, and P.S.
Hashtag Shaq for Smash.
Oh, and P.S. I'd like to give a very special thanks and shout out to the animators of this battle, Wizard Animations and Rampage Animations. They did an amazing job animating tonight's battle, and if you like what you see, then do yourself a favor and go check out their channels and subscribe.
Next time on Show Off Showdown.
Yay. Man, let me guess, that's Rodan, right? I don't know how Rodan could just fight like other kaijus like that. I mean, his wings are literally the his wings. What the hell? Holy crap! What the hell? He looked like the red-eyed Black Dragon, didn't he?
Got any ideas for Show Off Showdown? Then let me know in the comments below. And hopefully, I just might do them. Now stay tuned for the next episode of Show Off Showdown.
Sorry, got a bit of a cold. Okay, okay, bravo. I love that. I mean, I loved. I always enjoy listening to his explanations and the what the characters have in their arsenal and in his jokes and all that stuff. I absolutely enjoy it. I always enjoy listening to his voice on it. Absolutely fun to listen to, and you know what? It's very fun. As for Poe and Shaq's excuse me. There we go. As for their analysis and the Shaq game, absolutely outstanding. I mean, yeah, the fighting isn't all that impressive. Yeah. But again, I mean, the analysis and the what's the word now? The backgrounds of the characters and the and you get the idea. I always enjoy listening to his explanations, and and as for the Shaq game, looks quite fun. I like it. I might give that a try. And yeah, that was good. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Now, as for a recommendation for a fight, I've always wanted to know this. Who would win a fight between Super Saiyan 4 Vegito versus a Super Saiyan God Goku in the Beerus saga? Like, the first time Goku first meets Beerus. Now, let's just say, for example, that Goku met Beerus, but Goku had Super Saiyan 4, and obviously, Goku would obviously lose against Beerus in Super Saiyan 4. And, because you know what I mean, like, I highly doubt that a Super Saiyan God Goku could... No, sorry, beg your pardon. I highly doubt that a Super Saiyan 4 Goku could win against a Super Saiyan God Goku. But what about a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito? I mean, could a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito beat a Super Saiyan God Goku? I'm not really sure, but that's what I want to know. Is a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. No, I'll say it again. Is Super Saiyan 4... No, I'll say it again. Is Super Saiyan God much more powerful than a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito? Because I've been dying to know this for ages. And remember, it has to be in the Beerus saga. Okay, because even though Goku's base form, you know, near in the Beerus saga is around full power. Got a frog in my throat. Goku's base form around that time was near enough around Frieza's full power. No, I'll say it again. Sorry, it's not. I do apologize. I'll say it again. Goku's base form at the end. No, in the Beerus saga was near enough around final form, full power Frieza's power. Because I mean, look, I mean, he was facing Goku's base form was facing off against a final form full power Frieza, and you know there was like on par with each other. But when you know Goku didn't even need to go Super Saiyan 1 in order to be on par with final form Frieza. So I mean, it's obvious that, you know, Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan can beat a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, but can a Super Saiyan God Goku defeat a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito? That's what I like to know. So yeah, I mean that's my that's my suggestion. I would really love to know that. I would really love to know. And the reason why I bring up a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, because I saw a trailer in I think it was like in the Xeno games or something like that a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito would be in there, and I could be thinking, hold on, if a Super Saiyan 3 Vegito can't beat say again, if a Super Saiyan 3 Vegito can't beat Beerus, then and it's obvious that a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, you know, can't beat a Super Saiyan. No, sorry, I'm all over the place. I'll say again. It's obvious that a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito can't beat Beerus, but I mean, you know, obviously because, you know, Beerus does like holding back his power. But is a Super Saiyan God Goku much more powerful than a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito? I mean, because, you know, that's what I'd like to know. So yeah, that's my suggestion. I mean, it's better than the Goku vs Superman thing, isn't it? I mean, otherwise you're gonna have like fans going like, oh, that's not true, blah blah blah. But you know, you got two characters from the same show, so I would really like to know that. Because if a Super Saiyan God Goku is much more powerful than a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito in the Beerus saga, then you know, we'll have to redo all of our calculations, won't we? So yeah, that's what I'd like to know. Is a Super Saiyan God Goku much more powerful than Super Saiyan 4 Vegito in the Beerus saga? You know, if Goku had like Super Saiyan 4 and he went up against Beerus the first time they met. So yeah, that's my suggestion. The video was great, and you guys know what to do, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Thank you guys for watching, and if there's a series you want me to check out and review and give my thoughts on it, or if there's a top 10 list you want me to do, or any reactions, or responses, or rants on anything geeky, just leave links and comments in the comment sections below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. And if you guys want to follow me on my social medias, I'm on minds.com, Twitch, Dailymotion, and Hatron, Reddit, BitChute, aka the new YouTube, DeviantArt, Discord, VidMe, Gab, Twitter, Tumblr, Patreon, GoFundMe, PayPal, and my other social medias are down there in the description box below, so if you want to go and check them out, please do. And don't forget to subscribe and share this video. And please go and check out my new skeptic channel, Gypsy Freak. It's also down there in the description box below. Peace out.